people who are detractors of our university, they confuse excellence with elitism. I'm not an elitist. I'm not an elitist. I believe in excellence, and I believe in a university that sustains those standards of excellence. But I want access to our university, the number of people who can benefit from our university, the people who have the potential to support those standards of excellence in our university. I want our doors thrown open to those people who have the potential, have the talent to operate and study and learn and advance knowledge at the same standards of excellence that we stand for in this university, and we should never confuse that with elitism.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Our guest tonight is Lord Peter Mandelson. Lord Mandelson is a prominent Labour politician, member of the House of Lords, and current contender for the Chancellorship of the University of Oxford. He has served in Labour cabinets 3 times and was also European Commissioner for Trade. He was a pivotal architect of New Labour alongside Tony Blair and has held several posts in government, including as Secretary of State for Trade in 1998 and the Secretary of State for Northern Ireland in 1999. Beyond politics, Lord Mandelson has co-founded the consultancy firm Global Counsel and has been Chancellor of Manchester Metropolitan University since 2016. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Lord Peter Mandelson.
Something really nice has just happened to me. I was walking in through the door with Ibrahim, and a man unrecognizable to me with a hat came up, and he said, "Lord Mandelson, I'd like to give you a note, a card from your old Latin teacher." This is a Latin teacher who taught me Latin at O-level 50 years ago. Dear Peter, with all very best wishes for your married life, that's nice, wishes belated, but nonetheless warm for that, your ancient Latin teacher, Sally. Isn't that nice? I have not heard from her since I passed my Latin O-level, which paved the way, of course, for my Oxford entrance, in which I had to sit a Latin paper. How many of you had to do that? I mean, when I describe my Latin paper as patchy for my Oxford entrance, you'll know it's no exaggeration. So I think this has started off as a really, really nice evening. And I would like to thank you very much for inviting the Prince of Darkness to be with you. I am, of course, now the Dark Lord. And I tell you, many people in politics assume that having been at Oxford myself as an undergraduate, I must have learned all my dark arts as a member of the Union Society. Because you are, I mean, all my notorious dark arts, because you are also famous for your elections, your endless elections, your limitless personal ambition, which knows absolutely no bounds as well at all. Not to say your extraordinary ability to extract the most extraordinary election results from various from unassuming, nondescript ballot boxes. We'll draw the veil, I think. But it's very nice to be here, and I am here standing as a candidate for Chancellor of the university. I got so much from this university. I'm so proud of this university. If I can give something back to this university as its Chancellor, that's the opportunity I would like. But one thing I wasn't when I was at the university was actually a member of the Union Society. And so this is the first time since I was an undergraduate that I've actually spoken in this great and famous debating society hall. And it is very famous and it is very historic. And you should be very proud, those of you who are members, to be so. And I hope you all continue to sustain this society for decades to come. But I, as I said in the interview that I gave to the Cherwell newspaper, sorry, judging by the blank faces, not all of you have read my interview in the Cherwell newspaper, which was published last night. It's okay, you can go to the website. Immediately this event is over. But as I said to the Cherwell, I regret not being a member of this society when I was here as an undergraduate, because I honestly think that I would have acquired skills, confidence, speaking ability. I mean, just imagine if I'd actually been a member of the Union Society, how far I could have reached in politics. I could have gone right to the top. But it's very nice to be here. And can I just say something else? The whole look and the feel of this society are really completely different from anything that I remember when I was an undergraduate here so many decades ago. I have to say that, well, actually, when I say I wasn't a member of the Union Society, I should be strictly honest. I was actually quite a hack. So that even though I wasn't a member of the Union Society, I did occasionally work in elections for the Union Society. And I worked for somebody in particular who was a great friend of mine, and that was a former president of the society, tragically gunned down later when she was Prime Minister of Pakistan, and that is Benazir Bhutto. And she was a friend of mine. We called her Pinky. That was her pen name when she was here at Oxford. And I saw her a lot afterwards. I worked for her. I turned out the vote for her in my college. And I saw her many times after and greatly lament the way in which she lost her life in the service of her country. But she learned a lot from being here at Oxford, and she learned a lot from being president of the Union Society. But I said to you that the look and the feel of this place is very different from my day. And it leads me on to the first point, one of two or three only I want to make to you before I subject myself to the Spanish Inquisition behind me. I want to pay tribute both to the societies and the universities' extraordinary diversity. You know, in my day, if I had been looking around this great hall, as I'm doing now, you would all have looked very male, very pale, and very English. And you're very different. And I think that there has been a revolution in the diversity of this university and this society, and I applaud it. It's a tremendous thing. And it has been driven, first of all, by the widening of access to the university from across the United Kingdom and from towns and communities and neighbourhoods and families and backgrounds that in my day, frankly, would not have thought it was possible to come to the university, certainly in the numbers that they do now. And secondly, it's a reflection of the admission to the university of so many students, graduates, postgraduates, undergraduates, from overseas, from other countries. And I celebrate that. I celebrate the fact that people want to come from all over the world to come to our country and this university and to study, because they know that here they will enjoy standards of excellence and quality that they will not find elsewhere. And we should rejoice in that. We should celebrate it. And instead, I'm afraid we've been through a good many years, recent years, in which the government of the country has not celebrated that in the way that I thought that they should. I welcome foreign students coming here, and I welcome the maximum range and access of people from our own country coming here. And that leads me to the second thing I want to say, and that is that this university and our country cannot any longer afford to be as inward-looking as we have been since the Brexit referendum. How many years ago was it? You know, we as a university, but also we as a country, depend on our ability to draw in talent from the rest of the world. We need it. Our academic research in this university is done as part of teams drawn from all over the world. You don't research, you don't create an advanced knowledge by working in silos as individuals, or even in countries or universities anymore, separately and apart from others. It's only done effectively in teams, across universities, across countries, and that's what has given us so much benefit. And we make our living as a country in the rest of the world. We don't just make our living in Britain here in the United Kingdom. We make our living in the rest of the world. And what was claimed at the time of Brexit by its advocates, that if we left the European Union, we could instead become global Britain. Do you remember global Britain? What a joke that was, because, of course, it's done exactly the opposite. Britain trades now with the rest of the world, certainly less than predicted and less than we did before Brexit. Inward investment is not flowing into our country as was promised into global Britain. Net migration did, of course, not go down as promised. Migration actually went up following Brexit. But the price we've paid for that is a government that reacted to net migration by excluding foreign students and making it much, much more difficult for students and postdocs and their families to get visas, to pay the extraordinary fees that they were confronted with, and a whole range of barriers that were put up to prevent people from coming to study in our country, simply and only because the government wanted to reduce the net migration figures because they had promised to do so. And that has not made us more global, to reject people, from stopping them from coming to study and research in our universities and in our country. And it doesn't increase our soft power as a country either. It doesn't make us bigger. It doesn't make us more influential. It doesn't attract more investment. It therefore doesn't make us richer as a country. And these and other lessons are those that we have got to take from Brexit, and why I believe we have a government now that's going to turn a corner and rethink these ridiculous assumptions and fallacies that were propagated after Brexit. Now, that leads me to my third point, and that is that our nation's soft power and our university's academic strength and our prowess as a university lies equally importantly in studies in the humanities as it does in science. Humanities literally shape and enrich our society and how we want to live. You know, our rule of law, our ethics and the philosophical basis of our society, the languages we speak, the literature that we love, our history, our music, all of these things shape and enrich our society and how we live. While science is the basis of how we live and how we grow our economies, how we safeguard our health, how we protect the planet in which we live. The answer to all these great challenges, demographic, climate, health, medicine, education, lie ultimately in the advance of science and, as we now know, because we're in the midst of a great revolution, technology as well. And our society and the humanities that are at the heart of our society, our economy and what makes it grow in sustainable ways through our harnessing of science, are literally at the heart of what our university is, what it represents, and what it does. And I just want to end on this note. And that is to say, this university pursues these subjects and deepens knowledge and discovery and extends your education and what you can do in your lives through operating standards of excellence. Excellence. That, above all, is what Oxford stands for. But some people who are detractors of our university, they confuse excellence with elitism. I'm not an elitist. I'm not an elitist. I believe in excellence, and I believe in a university that sustains those standards of excellence. But I want access to our university, the number of people who can benefit from our university, the people who have the potential to support those standards of excellence in our university. I want our doors thrown open to those people who have the potential, have the talent to operate and study and learn and advance knowledge at the same standards of excellence that we stand for in this university, and we should never confuse that with elitism. Just because we're excellent does not mean to say that we're elitist. And so, yes, we are a tall poppy in this university. We are, thank God. And you know what people do to tall poppies? They attack them, and they try to cut them off. Okay, so let's stand up for our university. Let's take pride in our university, but let's take pride also in the fact that we want to open our university to all those who have the potential to flourish in our university, to benefit from its standards of excellence wherever they are, whether they be here in the United Kingdom or in other countries whose talent we want to attract and in whose countries we want to develop our status, our prestige as a country, and our soft power. Thank you very much.